Would you like to be able to harness your energy? Feel like $1,000,000, feel inspired, motivated, excited, driven, and as though you are almost moving through things without any effort. Like it's an effortless enthusiasm and excitement, creativity. What would that be like for you? If that sounds good, then hi, my name is Jen. I'm the founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness, and I am a transformational purpose coach. What I do is work with women who, despite being super successful, feel really disconnected and misaligned. They aren't showing up to their work anymore with enthusiasm. They're not feeling that passion and drive they once had. And even though they have this really beautiful success, they're wondering if this is it and this is all that there's ever going to be. Is this the end of the line for them being excited about their work and what they feel like they were put here to do? And if that's you, then what we do is we work together in our time to figure out and get super, super clear. I say clarity is queen all the time. We want you to be so clear about how you got here, where you're going, and how you're going to do that. And whether it means you can stay where you are or whether you need to make what I call a lane change in your life, which is what I did, we figure that out together. We just figure out how to kind of get you where you want to go that feels most aligned for your journey, who you are, your strengths, talents, and gifts. So today what I want to talk about, in my office of over 20 years of clinical experience, one of the things that I spent a lot of time experiencing was people's energy. And it is one of my passions to share about energy and the power of this tool. And so today we're going to be talking about tapping into that, harnessing that natural energy, right? There is something that we kind of notice that seasonally, whatever, we talked about this in the last vlog, so I'm not going to go over it again, but like harnessing that energy is really important. It's a really powerful tool. Many of us are carrying around, we just don't ever access it the way that we could. And so I love empowering my coaching clients to really get in a space of being aware of this, to use it as the tool that it is. It is money. And so we're going to talk today, again, is that inner and outer energy that we can experience. There's the energy, the things around us, and there's the energy within us, okay? And what I want you to think about first is, what do you do that super wakes you up, that makes you feel so alive, so vital, excited, driven, motivated, passionate? One of the questions I love when people ask this, what could you talk about with 20 minutes with zero preparation and prompting? Like, I could just set you loose and talking about this. Comment below, what could you talk about to me for 20 minutes without any hesitation? I just said to you, Shannon, tell me about your this. And you just go, Jen, I could talk for hours. I'm going to tell you this story. What is that for you? So one thing is noticing the energetic enthusiasm that we have that naturally flows for us. And here's what's cool. None of us is the same. Some of us, it might be sports, athletics. Some of us, it might be music and the arts. Some of us, it might be stillness, quiet meditation, right? Some of us, it might be the next energized adventure that I get to take, right? So here's an example of a way that all of us are wired differently. And one of the things we want to do is get really, really clear about how we're wired. How are you wired? What could you talk to me about for 20 minutes? And then tell me how you're wired. What are you wired for? Put that in the comments. You're wired for blank. Adventure, excitement, passion, business, all of it. All of it's good, right? Put that in the comments for me. And I want you to think about that. How can I harness that, right? There's this internal knowing I have that certain things really light me up on the inside. That's almost always directly related to your purpose. Bing, bing, bing. I should have had my bell. Ding, ding, ding. That's how we know something magical is happening, right? Is it's right there. It's right. We get lit up every single time we think about it, talk about it, or in it, whatever that might be, okay? And what I want you to think about too, there's like a couple pieces here. Our internal landscape is a space where we can take a ton of information away. Meaning, if I listen to my internal energy, it can be a beautiful and direct link to my intuition. And you might be like, Jen, what's intuition got with it? Why'd you got to go there, right? Like, right, you were like maybe in with me about the enthusiasm and like how you love to have your energetic expression show up and all those things. But I really want to get to this piece of it for you, which is the internal listening. I say your internal ears, which are the ears that you're using to really pay attention to what's happening inside here. You are wired with information on the inside. Things like this. Think of an example. I'm going to give a couple examples. We're going to kind of cruise through this. But I think, you know what? I'm going to take a different road home tonight. I don't know why. I just feel like I should take a different road home tonight. Just did a podcast with my friends. Ended up, just saw a serious accident was about to happen. It was able to intervene in a second's notice. Or it's, I'm going to take a different path home, and you get home to find out that a bridge collapsed. You know, in Minnesota, the 35W bridge actually collapsed years ago. It was a really serious, big deal. One of my friends would normally be driving on that road that night at that time and wasn't. And so was texting everyone so that everybody knew she was okay. So sometimes we get these weird little niggles, is what I call them. They're like, I don't think so. There's no accident about that. So when we get them, whether it's I get invited to do a business venture and I go, why does something about this feel ishy to me? I have an instinct about this. I have an intuition about something that doesn't feel quite right to me. That is not an accident. Not the way that you take your drive home, not the way that you have a sense that something's either good for you or not good for you. And what happens is we can be really dismissive. We can be like, oh, just that's crazy, right? And my friend was talking about the one voice the day she was sick, and she missed literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say this to you, her story is incredible. You should listen to the podcast. She did not go to work the day of the Oklahoma City bombing. And by the grace of God, she was not there that day. And she had this niggling voice, this voice that calmly, sweetly said, don't go into where she was sick. Don't go into work today. And this other really, you know, rah, 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 you need to go in. There's so much work to do. Well, this is her ego. And either this was divine guidance or her highest self talking to her. I'll never know, and maybe she won't either. But there was this sweet voice, and there was this mean kind of, you know, well, we have things to do. And she called in, and she was going to take a half day. And the person that answered was like, heard how sick she was. She was like, you're staying home today. And all hell broke loose. That was a really significant form of having that internal intuition that spoke to her. And had she listened, I may have never been blessed with knowing her. And so I just want us to think about those are not accidents, right? And we can poo-poo them, right? She was kind of like in that ego state, like, well, you have work to do. Yeah, I got big things to do, right? And she was like sick with her dog, like, what? Don't go to work? Don't do that. And so like I said, lucky, that's not what happened, but it could have. And so we are wired with incredible insight. You are wired with your own solutions. I tell people this when they walk through my therapy door. Nice to meet you. Can't wait to get to know you. This is who I am. This is how I work. And then I would always say, as I worked with people, you already have the answers. The solutions are already within you. You don't need a guru. You don't need somebody to just dole out the wisdom like you have no idea. You're actually already wired with the wisdom and insight. You don't need me to tell you what to do. I'll cheerlead you on. Woo, right? I'll hold space for all that. We'll sit in all the things, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not my answer. It's your answer. You're wired with it. So I want to say that because I think that's really pivotal that people understand you are already wired with your solution. You do not need to go outward to find that solution. You might need to go outward to find support to connect to that. That's different. And so many of us, I get coaching, I have friends that hold space for me, I do energy work, I receive all that so that people are helping hold me in check. And so that I'm much more readily able to access the energy and the insight. So when I keep clearing house of my soul, if you want to imagine, and I go do energy work, I work out, I take care of myself, I do meditation, I sit in stillness, I am more accessibly able to touch into that intuition and that insight that's riding around with me all the time. Like that. When I'm real tired and I'm strung out and I'm kind of stringing myself along and I haven't been doing self-care and I feel exhausted and I don't know if I'm living in my energy is not there to more easily grasp into things and live in alignment. And so my goal for you is to have that sense of, I got this. I got this, right? I love that energy. So I want you to be thinking about that. And then think about vitality and the outer pieces of your experience. So not just, is it a full moon? Or is the sun setting? Is there a certain season that I'm in right now? Is it fall? Is it winter? Is it spring? Where am I? Like, because there's that kind of energy, right? But also, how are you sleeping? How are you eating? Noticing your experience, that sort of, I mean, not outer experience, but kind of. It's like you're paying attention to how you are showing up in your energy. And that's really powerful information, right? How do I feel when I do a movement class? How do I feel when I do yoga? How do I feel when I'm done with a meditation? Am I eating more? Am I sleeping well? Is my sleep disrupted? Am I having nightmares? I want you to be watching, because all of that is also energetic information, right? I could talk about this again. I could drop the mic and talk about this for 20 hours straight. I'm not going to. I want you to just have these ideas of looking for how this shows up in our lives. The more we realize it, the more we see it, the more we actually develop tools and power around using it and harnessing it. So if I know that I wake up in the morning, I'm a little sluggish, right? Maybe I make myself work out 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. I just go, nope, I know I've got to do this. You know what mine is? Mine is meditation, hands down. Ask anybody. I love movement. I will tell you, my whole day is better when I go meditate. First thing out the gate. It sets the tone for my whole day. I now know that because I played around enough with different things in my life to realize, for me, meditation is absolutely essential. It's not optional. Okay? Somebody else would go, absolutely hands down, working out. My friend Carissa, working out, bless her heart. I get it. Every one of us is different. What is it that you can harness and grab onto that you know about yourself by trial and error that really allow you to tap into your energy? And your sleeping, your eating can be symptoms. They can be things that you kind of read, right? Out of clinical social work. Oh my God, I talked about this to people all the time. How are you eating? How are you sleeping? And sleep disruption is really important. If I'm tired, I'm exhausted, that is going to take away from my energy, right? Duh, we feel tired, we feel run down, we feel, right? And I show up to work and I've got a crisis. How do I show up to the crisis? Super energized and like eyes on the prize? Or am I like, right? All of us have been there. We know what this looks like. So we want to imagine what is happening around us and how can I step into that vitality? How can I be taking care of these things to hold up space for my energy to be as bright and vibrant as it was meant to be? What do I need to do that? For some, it might be waking up and reading. It might be going for a walk in the morning, sitting in nature, having a cup of coffee quietly by yourself somewhere. Everyone is different. At the end of the day, it might look like coming home and showering to leave one form of energy in one spot and coming to your home. Some of us, it's changing clothes. We do things all the time without even knowing. It's actually an energetic transition because we want to harness and we want to clear energy or do something different and have a different experience. We do it all the time. You do it all the time. I'll guarantee you probably don't even know to call it that and you're doing it. So I want you to really think about that internal listening. How can I take that in? And then what vitality kind of procedures, habits do I have or can I have that are going to help me harness my energy? I want you to be in that space, okay? Again, it's that inner versus outer energy. We're surrounded in energy. We are energy. We're made up of energy. There's energy in us. There's energy outside of us. So there's an energetic exchange all the time, right? Energetic exchange. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna leave you with this. So I hope I just got you thinking, right? I want you thinking about, what is my energy? How do I show up? What's it like? What's it feel like? What do I need? What can I use to be more powerful and to step into that alignment, that sense of flow, right? That's really what we're talking about here. I'm gonna invite you to, I have a free webinar, a prize, tapping into your energy, coming up on Wednesday, the 16th of March. It'll be from 7 till 8:30 in the evening, Central Standard Time. It is free. I would love to have you sign up and join me to talk about how to tap into your energy. And so what you're going to do is head over to my website. It's laughinglotuswellness.com/webinar. laughinglotuswellness.com/webinar. We are going to do some really fun exercises. I always like doing really experiential things. So you get this sense of like, what we're talking about, right? I don't want you to just think about it. I want you to actually have an experience. So I'm super excited to bring you that fire. So come join us on Wednesday the 16th from 7 till 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time at A Prize, tapping into your energy. I can't wait to teach you that. I hope to see you there. And until then, my friends, this is Jen with Laughing Lotus Wellness, supporting you on your rise to purpose.